Most men react. Few think. Fewer still plan. And almost none dominate. Why? Because domination requires strategy, not emotion. It requires control, not chaos. It requires discipline, not noise. If you want to outsmart anyone, friend, enemy, rival, you don't do it by being loud, by being aggressive, by fighting fire with fire. You do it by using the cold, sharp rules of Machiavellian power. The world doesn't reward the honest. It rewards the calculated. Rule 1. Never show your true intentions. The moment people know what you want, they begin to calculate against you. They start preparing. They start resisting. But when you conceal your aim, when you say one thing and plan another, they cannot stop what they cannot see. Machiavelli wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." That's why the prince must be both. You move like the lion, only after you've deceived them like the fox. Keep your real desires buried. Let others think you're harmless, distracted, naive. And when they lower their guard, strike. In business, this means hiding your ambition until the deal is closed. In relationships, it means never confessing your leverage. In negotiation, it means allowing the other side to feel secure while you quietly shift the terms. The weak man lays all his cards on the table, hoping for approval. The Machiavellian man keeps his cards close, forces others to reveal theirs, and wins the game without showing his hand. Rule 2. Always control the frame. People don't see the world as it is. They see it as you frame it. Control the story, and you control perception. Let others define the situation, and you play by their rules. But define it yourself, and you set the terms of engagement. You decide what matters. You decide who looks weak. You decide what success even means. The average man accepts the narrative. The dominant man writes it. If someone challenges you, don't defend yourself directly. Reframe. If they say you're arrogant, reframe it as confidence. If they say you're cruel, reframe it as discipline. Shift the lens and force them to see things on your terms. This is not deception, it's psychological warfare. And if you don't use it, you lose to someone who does. Understand this. Dominance isn't about aggression. It's about invisibly bending the environment in your favor. It's about controlling the temperature in the room, even when you don't speak. Those who master framing win without fighting. They walk in, and the room bends around them. These are not just suggestions. These are weapons. And if you don't use them, someone will use them on you. Rule 3. Win through actions, never argument. The moment you start arguing, you lose leverage. Why? Because argument reveals insecurity. It tells your opponent that you need them to understand you, that you're still seeking their approval, that you're still invested in being right instead of being effective. But dominance doesn't care about validation. It only cares about outcome. Machiavelli knew this. He warned rulers that reason rarely moves men. Men are moved by force, by fear, by position, not by logic. You don't convince people with words. You corner them with moves they can't ignore. The Machiavellian man never says what he can demonstrate. He doesn't promise strength, he imposes it. He doesn't debate respect it. He demands it by becoming untouchable. In your life, this means walking away from useless arguments. You don't need to win the back and forth. You need to win the war. So instead of correcting them, outlast them. Instead of pleading, outperform. Instead of reacting, reposition. Action is irrefutable, argument is noise. Make silence your ally and results your rebuttal. Rule 4. Create distance to increase value. Familiarity is a slow poison. When you are always available, always present, always explaining, you become common. And what is common is never feared. What is common is never respected. The powerful understand this. Scarcity creates demand. When you are hard to reach, people lean in. When you appear less, you are remembered more. This is not about being mysterious for show. It's about becoming a man who doesn't move unless it matters. The Machiavellian does not announce every decision. He does not justify every absence. He makes his presence felt by how rare it is, by the weight it carries when it finally arrives. People begin to anticipate you. This is true in every domain. In business, the man who speaks only when necessary is heard when it counts. In relationships, the man who does not over-explain creates mystique. In life, the man who does not seek constant attention earns deeper respect. If you want dominance, remove your presence from places that do not deserve it. Stop giving access to those who haven't earned it. The less they get of you, the more they value every second. Rule 5. Let others destroy themselves. Never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. The weak man rushes in. He wants to correct, to control, to win quickly. But the Machiavellian man waits. He watches. Because he knows this: most people will expose themselves if you give them enough space. Their ego will push them, their arrogance will blind them, their lack of discipline will ruin them. All you need to do is step back and let them fall. Machiavelli believed that fortune favors the prepared, not the impulsive. You do not need to force your dominance. You let your rivals hang themselves with their own rope. You simply provide the opportunity, create a situation where their emotional instability, their hunger for attention, or their reckless pride becomes their undoing. You never get your hands dirty. You just set the stage. In your life, this means patience. It means discipline. It means shutting up when every part of you wants to speak. Because the most brutal form of domination is to let someone walk into their own trap while you sit still. No defense, no reaction, just observation. This is how power is sustained, not just seized, but preserved. The powerful do not overextend. They do not fight every battle. They wait for the opponent to make the wrong move and then strike with precision. When others try to provoke you, don't react. Let them keep swinging. Watch them exhaust themselves. And when the moment is ripe, end it with one clean move. These 5 rules are not tips. They are tactics. They are psychological weapons. Use them with discipline and intent. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be aggressive. You don't need to announce your strength. You need only to be strategic. Because in the end, the man who outsmarts the world does not fight it. He bends it, quietly, to his will. Now the question is, will you do what's easy, or will you do what's effective? Will you keep reacting, or will you start planning? If you've made it this far, it means you're done being predictable, done being emotional, done playing checkers while others play chess. A part of you already knows. You're ready to move in silence, to dominate with strategy, not noise. And now you've got the rules. The only question is, will you use them? So I ask you, are you prepared to let others underestimate you while you position yourself? Are you ready to stop reacting and start ruling? Can you remain quiet while others destroy themselves? If this message cut deep, if it revealed what you've been doing wrong, type in the comments. I outsmart, not react. Let's see how many of you are done playing fair and ready to play to win. And don't stop here. The next video is where it sharpens even more. Watch it now. Trust me, it's not just the next step. It's the power shift you've been waiting for. See you there.